Today we are going to review the class that I mentioned the last time that about the cycling of existence. Before we begin the class, as always, I need to mention about the important note that Dhamma provided in this presentation is simple and not Kampira or profound. People must continuously study Dhamma or else it will lead to Mahatapa, Nirya or hell, because it is Miccha Titti, not following the Buddha's teaching. If any provided content contrast with Dhamma 84,000 Dhammakantaka, please refer to Dhamma 84,000 Dhammakantaka only. Okay, one moment. Okay. One moment. Okay. The next one. Before enter Parinibbana, Anuttara Samma Sampothi mentioned that Yovo Ananta Maya Dhammo Ja Vinayo Ja Tesito Panyato Sovo Mamajayena Sattha. Translate into English is Anuttara Puttavachana 84,000 Dhammakantaka is Anuttara Samma Sampothi. And for our generation, we in each generation of Buddha of Buddha Parisat. For Buddha Parisat, they have their responsibilities that for Buddha Parisat have responsibility consisting of three major responsibilities. The first one is the for Buddha Parisat must well understand the Tipitaka 84,000 Dhammakantaka. The four Buddha Parisa must be able to correctly present 84,000 Dhammakantaka. And the four Buddha Parisa must be able to correct those who condemn or misunderstand the Tipitaka 84,000 Dhammakantaka. Now, we begin the class with the cyclic of existence in 31 Bhumi. To escape from the cyclic of existence, first we need to understand how it works and how we end up keep staying in the cyclic of existence in 31 Bhumi. First of all, we need to understand that we staying in the cyclic of existence in 31 Bhumi because of Chitta interact with Cetasika. And then once Chitta interact with Cetasika, they create Kamma Shrupa. Kamma Shrupa leads you to born in 31 Bhumi. And when you stay in one Bhumi and then after pass away from that Bhumi, then you go to the next, and it keep staying in the cycle of existence like this. In case that you cannot find the teaching of Anuttara Samma Sampothi or Dhamma Vinaya 84,000 Dhammakantaka, you end up in Abhaya Bhumi 4 only. You cannot become Manusa Bhumi 1, you cannot become Deva Bhumi 6, you cannot become Arupa Brahma Bhumi 16, Brahma Bhumi 16, and you cannot become Arupa Brahma Bhumi 4. Even these Bhumi, except Abhaya Bhumi 4, you still stay in the cyclic of existence in 31 Bhumi. You cannot escape from it. Eventually, even though you stay in Arupa Brahma Bhumi 4, Brahma Bhumi 16, Deva Bhumi 6, or Manusa Bhumi 1, eventually you will end up in Abhaya Bhumi 4, which is quite miserable for everyone. So that's why we need an enlightenment of Anuttara Samma Sampothi. And once there is existence of the teaching of Anuttara Samma Sampothi, that is the only way to escape from the cycle of existence. That's why we need to understand the interaction of Chitta and Cetasika. And once we fully understand the teaching of Anuttara Samma Sampothi, then instead of interaction of Chitta, Cetasika, Chitta and Cetasika cause Kamma Shrupa, it will lead to Rupa. And then from Rupa, it's the foundation to go to enter Nirvana. And this is the only way to escape from the cycle of existence in 31 Bhumi. That's why we need to Sikkaya to understand how things work, and how every living creatures stay in the cyclic of existence in 31 Bhumi. First of all, we're going to into more details about the interaction of Chitta and Cetasika that cause either Kamashrupa that caused by ourselves or the teaching of Anuttara Samma Sambuddhi. But in case that we are not fully understand, in case of we are not fully understand, therefore we cannot enter Rupa and enter Nirvana. We end up with Kamashrupa and staying in the cyclic of existence and 31 Bhumi instead. Okay. Into more details, Chitta that I mentioned, Chitta has 121 Chitta altogether, classified into 4 main groups. The first one is Kama Vajra Chitta, 54. And the second one is Rupa Vajra Chitta, 15, and Arupa Vajra Chitta, 12, and Lokuttara Chitta, 40. These are 4 main groups of Chitta, 121. And everyone who's Sikhatama needs to, it's important, it's crucial that you must be able to recite Chitta 121, and not only Chitta 121, you need to be able to recite Cetasika 52. The interaction of Chitta and Cetasika that cause Rupa or Kamashrupa. Here, Rupa 28. Rupa 28 classified into 2 groups, 2 main groups. The first one is Mahaputta Rupa 4, and the second one is Upataya Rupa 24. Back to Cetasika. Cetasika 52 classified into 3 groups. The first one is Anyasamana Cetasika 13, and the second one is Akusala Cetasika 14, and Sopana Cetasika 25. This all together. There are more details in this picture now. Chitta have 121, Cetasika have 52, and Rupa 28. And for Kamashrupa, this one is 18. And altogether, Rupa must be altogether Rupa to have 28. Therefore, Kamashrupa 18. In this case, it caused a Kamashrupa to happen, and a Kamashrupa contains 10 Rupas in them. When Kamashrupa 18 plus a Kamashrupa 10, then altogether Rupa 28. And those 28 cause you to stay in the cyclic of existence in 31 Bhumi, in short. Okay. Then from Chitta 121, not all of them that create your body in the next Bhumi or in every Bhumi. There in big picture, Chitta classified into 2 main zones. The first one is a zone that's the Chitta that stays in Chavana Chitta. In Chavana Chitta, we compare it like design unit. Before you born in each Bhumi, Chitta have to interact with Cetasika within Chavana Chitta to decide what your body will look like in that Bhumi, what the environment will look like in that Bhumi, what your mind will be in that Bhumi, and what your food that you need to eat or interact with to maintain your body in that Bhumi. So for your body, your mind, your environment, and your food that need for your body to survive in that Bhumi, we call them Kamashrupa, Chitta Shrupa, Uttu Shrupa, and Ahara Shrupa. Altogether, these 4, we call them Rupa Samutthana. And for Rupa Samutthana, they create within Chavana Chitta. But not all of Chitta that stays in Chavana Chitta that cause Kamashrupa, Chitta Shrupa, Uttu Shrupa, and Ahara Shrupa. There are only 29 altogether called Kammachitta, 29. And Kammachitta 29, these one cause Rupa Samutthana, Kamashrupa, Chitta Shrupa, Uttu Shrupa, and Ahara Shrupa. Once Chitta in Chavana Chitta cause Kamashrupa, as I mentioned before, once they cause Kamashrupa 18, Rupa must always total, they need to be 28. Once it called Kamashrupa 18, therefore another 10 need to be a Kamashrupa. Altogether, 18 plus 10, that's equal 28 altogether, rupa 28. For chitta that create gam or gamma-rupa, there are 29 of chitta altogether. There are 20 in gam shawana chitta, and there are 9 in appana shawana chitta. In gam shawana chitta, 20 consisting of akusala chitta 12 and gamma vajra mahakusala chitta 8. This altogether 20. When they are going to create gamma from akusala chitta 12, they transform themselves from akusala chitta 12 into akusala gamma chitta 12. And then they create gamma. For gamma vajra mahakusala chitta 8, they transform themselves into gamma vajra mahakusala gamma chitta 8. Once they transform from, in this case, from gamma vajra mahakusala chitta 8 into gamma vajra mahakusala gamma chitta 8, gamma vajra mahakusala chitta 8 remains. But they create gamma vajra mahakusala gamma chitta 8 in additional, but gamma vajra mahakusala chitta 8 remains. As same as akusala chitta 12, once they become akusala gamma chitta 12, akusala chitta 12 remains, and they create akusala gamma chitta 12. Okay, so these gamma chitta 29, only 25 out of 29 that create Bhumi that have rupa. Only 4 out of these 29, which are arupa vajra mahakusala chitta 4 that turns into arupa vajra mahakusala gamma chitta 4 and these 4 they create rupa brahma bhumi 4. However, the rest 29 they create bhumi that have rupa. Only 4 create a bhumi without rupa. So for our case, we are human here. We are human. We are created by Kam Chawana Chitta, which consisting of Kusala Kama Chitta 12 that mainly causing us here. So we feel uncomfortable, hate, loathe, angry every day, all the day. That's why we are created by Akusala Kama Chitta 12. However, in case that you are created by purely Akusala Kama Chitta 12, in that case, you must go to Abhaya Bhumi 4. However, we have some of Kusala that contain Akusala inside. So there are some interaction of Gamma Vajra Mahakusala Gamma Chitta 8 that control Akusala Gamma Chitta 12 inside. Then that case, it leads us to be human like this. But inside, we mostly are a Kusala one. But somehow we have some of Kusala that help us can become human. And the purpose of becoming human is to find the teaching of Anuttara Samma Sambuddhi. However, not everyone can achieve their objective or their goals that to become a human and finding the teaching of Anuttara Samma Sambuddhi. Only tiny fraction of human population can have a chance to find the true teaching of Anuttara Samma Sambuddhi, and that is quite hard. Comparing to find a needle in the oceans, it's quite hard, but anyway, you have no choice. You need to find, otherwise you will end up in Abhaya Bhumi 4. Therefore, that's why we need to Sikkaya here, and we try to we try to explain Dhamma to you in sometimes it's easy, sometimes it's more elaborate, sometimes it's quite hard to understand. But however, for Sikkhatama, as we always mention about the terms of Sikkhatama instead of study, because how they work is completely different. For Sikkaya or I start with for study. Study, you use your eyes, your ears, your nose, your tongue, your body to study. You go to school, you look at the whiteboard, you look at the computer, you read the books, and then you try to understand what's teach you by using your eyes, your ears, your nose, your tongue, your body. In that case, we call it study. We only justify them by using our five senses. However, for Sikaya, it's completely different. For Sikaya, by the teaching of Anuttara Samma Sambuddhi, for teaching for Sikaya needs to have interaction with Vitaka Cetasika. In the interaction of Vitaka Cetasika with Sikaya, until now, some of you might have already familiar with our eyes, our ears, our nose, our tongue, and our body. They are containing Chakku Vijnana Citta, two Sota Vijnana Citta, two Khana Vijnana Citta, two Shivha Vijnana Citta, two Kaya Vijnana Citta, two respectively. And those 10 Citta altogether, we call them Tvi Pancha Vijnana 10. And those three Pancha Vijnana 10, they works with only 7 Cetasika. Only 7 Cetasika, and those Cetasika, they call Sapachita, Sattva Cetasika, 7. There are Phassa Cetasika, Vedana Cetasika, Sanya Cetasika, Cetana Cetasika, Ekakata Cetasika, Shivita Cetasika, and Manasikara Cetasika. You see, there are only 7 Cetasika, and the one that we need for Sikaya is Vitaka Cetasika, and those 7 don't have Vitaka interaction with those 3 Panchavinyan 10. Therefore, by Sikaya, we are not end up at our eyes, our ears, our nose, our tongue, our body. Sikaya works in different places. In different place other than your eyes, your ears, your nose, your tongue, your body, because these 5 senses end up only Manasikara Cetasika. They don't have Vitaka Cetasika. However, at this moment, I believe that many Dhammajan has already mentioned about the Hatayavatu. And at Hatayavatu, they contain Citta that works with Vitaka Cetasika. And that is the one, and that is the place Sikaya begins. And to Sikaya, you also need Bunyagriya 10 to be able to access Hatiyavatu, which quite complicated comparing to study in our daily lives, because study you only use your 5 senses. However, Sikaya, you cannot use your 5 senses because of the limitations of Cetasika that interact with those 5 senses. And for Vitaka, they stays in different places. However, in details, we will explain more in details later on. Okay, as I mentioned here, Kama Citta 29, they create Kama Sharupa, and by the happening of Kama Sharupa 18, the side effects of them create a Kama Sharupa 10. A Kama Sharupa 10 create from the past, but they are to be used in present, which is different from Kama Sharupa. They create from the past, and that's it. They create from the past, and this Kama Sharupa, they are not causing any kusala or akusala anymore. They stop that, and they become base for a Kama Sharupa to interact with and to be used in present. That is the how Kama Sharupa 18 works with Kama Sharupa 10 in short. And then after that, Kama Sharupa 18 divided into two main groups. The first one we call it artificial Kama Sharupa, or Anekanta. And a genuine Kama Sharupa, also 9 Rupa. This all called Ekanta. For Anekanta 9, they interact with some of Kama Sharupa and create. Eventually, they end up with Citta Sharupa 15, Uttu Sharupa 13, and Ahara Sharupa 12. And these are the one that we're familiar with. And altogether, from here, you see from altogether they are called rupa samudana. Now at this moment you have Kama Shrupa 18, Chitta Shrupa 15, Utu Shrupa 13, and Ahara Shrupa 12. For the beginners, you can picture it like this. Kama Shrupa 18 is your body as a base, your body, only body. And then Chitta Shrupa 15, it works like your mind to use your body and to decide to do anything in your daily lives. And Utushrupa 13 is your environment. For example, we have to have Earth, we have Sun, we have solar system, we have other systems in universe, and we have sea, we have mountain, we have things like that. That's called Utushrupa 13. And for Aharushrupa 12, for Kamashrupa 18, or our body to survive and to grow, be able to grow up, we need Ahara Shrupa 12 to interact with this body. Without Ahara Shrupa or Utu Shrupa, our body cannot survive in this bhumi, right? If we don't have Earth, we don't have sun, we have the solar system, our Kamashrupa or our body cannot survive here. But not only the environment that we need, we also need food to feed our body. Without food, you're starving to death, right? Without water, without air, without food, you cannot survive. That's why we also need Uttu Shrupa and Ahara Shrupa, and also our mind to control our body to interact with things around ourselves. We interact with environment, interact with other people, interact with food, something like that. And by interaction, our daily activities classified into mainly three of them. However, Anuttara Samma Sampoti mentioned that our daily life, actually, they can classify into 4 main categories. However, for normal people who cannot find Anuttara Samma Sampoti teaching, or cannot find the Dhamma Vinaya, they end up with only 3 groups of activities. The first one is Kama Sanya, and the second one is Kojara Sanya, and the third one is Morana Sanya. And those 3 Sanya caused by Akusala Chitta 12 and Akusala Cetasika 14. And the result of the interaction of Akusala Chitta with Akusala Cetasika ends up in a Bayapumi 4. That is the result of the activities that decide and do it by ourselves without the teaching of Anuttara Samma Sampoti. But in case that we can find the teaching of Anuttara Samma Sampoti, in case we find Dhamma Vinaya, in that case we can have another kind of sanya, which called Dhamma Sanya. And this sanya is the only way that can lead you to nirvana and to be to escape from the cyclical existence. However, in case you cannot attain nirvana, and in case you cannot escape from the cycle of existence in 31 bhumi, the side effects of them for the people who cannot achieve those goals, you can become human, Manusa bhumi 1, Deva bhumi 6, Brahma bhumi 16, Arupa Brahma bhumi 4. And as I mentioned before, by staying in Manusa Bhumi 1, Deva Bhumi 6, Brahma Bhumi 16, Arupa Brahma Bhumi 4, eventually, one day or another, you'll end up in a Vaya Bhumi 4. Because there must be one of your life that you born, and then you cannot find the teaching of Anuttara Samma Sampoti, and that life will be your last, and then after that, you will end up in a Vaya Bhumi 4. That's why I mentioned that to born in Manusa Bhumi 1, Deva Bhumi 6, Brahma Bhumi 16, and Arupa Brahma Bhumi 4. They are for the person or for the people who cannot, for Sattva, who cannot attain Nirvana or attain Arya Bhukkala, at least Sotapanna. In that case, you end up in Manusa Bhumi 1, Deva Bhumi 6, Brahma Bhumi 16, Arupa Brahma Bhumi 4. For normal people, become human or become Manusa, it's kind of good, right? For Deva Bhumi 6, it's kind of good. good things to stay in, good people stay in there. Brahmapumi 16 and Arupa Brahmapumi 4. It sounds good, but as I mentioned, it only sounds good, but actually it's not that good. One day or another, you'll end up in the Bhayapumi for the life that you're born, and that life without the teaching of Nuttara Samma Sambuddhi, that will be your last, and then go to a Bhayapumi 4. This is the danger. It's very dangerous to stay in 31 Bhumi and to stay in a cycle of existence. And that's why we need Sikkaya. And this life, you can find the teaching of Nuttara Samma Sambuddhi. Like I might compare it like you find an oasis in the desert. It might be your only chance. And we don't know that you have another chance in your next life or not, but this one of the best chance for you. So like oasis on the desert, because therefore you can have your chance to try to Sikkaya as much as you can, because you don't know what lies ahead for you. But in case you can attain Sotapatti Magga in this life, that must be that is the primary goal you should have. However, we try our best. Don't worry about the result, but we try our best. Okay, next one. For to born in each Bhumi, Kamajita create Kama, and Kamashupa 18 create Akamashupa 10, and then they form to be Rupa Smutatana containing of Kamashupa 18, Chitashupa 15, Utushupa 13, and Aharishupa 12. Altogether, you could compare it like they have your blueprint now. Blueprint of your body, your mind, your environment, your food, when you are going to born in either one of the 31 Bhumi. And then you need to give this blueprint to certain citta. Then they'll lead you to and create your body, your mind, your environment, and your food in that Bhumi. Actually, they are going to create it for you. But these citta, they stays out of Shavana citta. They stays out of design unit. The major function, their major function are to work as they told by citta in Shavana citta. In this case, they have the blueprint that contains our body, our mind, our environment, and our food that we need in each Bhumi, or call it Rupa Samudatthana, that contains Kamashupa 18, Chitrashupa 15, Utushupa 13, and Aharishupa 12. In that case, and these to born in 31 Bhumi, we need 19 of, we call it Patisanti, Pavanka, Chutti, Chitta, 19. They have three main functions. For the beginning, they lead you to born in that Bhumi, and that function we call it Patisanti. At that moment, they are called Patisanti Chitta. After that, they keep you in that form. For example, we are born as a human. First, they act as they are Patisanti Chitta. They bring you to Manusya Bhumi 1, and you born as a Manusya here in Bhumi, and then they function themselves from Patisanti Chitta into Pavanka Chitta. They keep you in human form, even though you're not supposed to be human anymore, because you hate, you're angry, you feel uncomfortable every moment in the day. In that case, it's the kind of, and its behavior of a Bhayapumi 4. However, you cannot transform yourself from human into a Bhayapumi 4 suddenly, but because of Pavanka Chitta, keep you in human form until the end of your life. And once you end your life in human form, then the last function, they becomes Chutti Chitta. They will lead you to another Bhumi to born again. And once you born again, they become Patisanti Chitta again. like this. And when they work like this, that's why you end up in the endless cyclic of existence in 31 Bhumi. They create your body in Shona Chitta. Then they send your body to Patisanti Pavanka Chuti Chitta 19 and leads you to stay in 31 Bhumi. And mostly we stay in Abhaya Bhumi 4 here, unluckily. Okay, and these are where each of Patisanti Chitta, Pavanka Chitta, and Chuti Chitta leads you to in 31 Bhumi. Until now, Kama Chitta 29 cause Patisanti Chitta, Pavanka Chitta, Chuti Chitta 19 to create 31 Bhumi for you. Okay, and now we need to understand one thing. When we arrive at Bhumi that we are going to born in the Bhumi, if we are going to stay in that Bhumi, at the step we arrive from last Bhumi to current Bhumi, from the past into current, there are certain type of birth. We need to birth, right? We need to born in that Bhumi, and the type of how we born in each Bhumi, they're classified the way you can born in Bhumi into 4 types of birth. They are อันทชกำเนิด สังเสทชกำเนิด ชลาพุชกำเนิด and โอปปาติกกำเนิด These are 4 types of births in Bhumi, and these are a chart from 0 to 100 for beginners to be able to picture where are those things that we are talking about at what level. We mentioned about we assume that in level 0, the level 0 is the level that we use our 5 senses. You can see by your eyes, your ears, your nose, your tongue, your body. That is level 0. You can interact with everything, and you can perceive the existence of things in level 0 by your 5 senses. However, at when we trying to reach level 100, which is the level that Chitta and Cetasika stays in that level, we need to go back into ourselves from this body into smaller parts and small until we reach very small at level 100. However, for help you to be able to picturize them, we use some of science knowledge to comparing them for you at the beginning level. From your body that you can perceive by your 5 senses, and then go to the smaller one, level 1 molecule, and then level 2 into atom, level 3 nucleus, level 4 nucleon, and level 5 is quark, which is the smallest particle that science knows today. And we are not stopping there. We need to go further. For example, at this moment, we assume that at level 50, this level 50 is the level that you will see Abhaya Bhumi 3, except Dirashan, because as Dirashan stays with you at level 0. And these at levels 50, you will see Abhaya Bhumi 3, Teva Bhumi 6, Brahma Bhumi 16, and Arupa Brahma Bhumi 4. They'll stay at this level. And then at level 100, the interaction of Chitta and Cetasika stays here. And Rupa Samudhatthana, that contains Kama Shupa 18, Chitta Shupa 15, Uttu Shupa 13, and Ahara Shupa 12. Those are staying in level 99. Okay. And for the type of birth that we mentioned, there are 4 types of births, but only one of them stays in level 50 to 100. That's called Opapadika Kamne. Suddenly happen in each Bhumi. And those Bhumi that have the way of the birth like this, they are Abhaya Bhumi 3, Teva Bhumi 6, Brahma Bhumi 16, and Arupa Brahma Bhumi 4. And for Chala Pucha Kamnet, Antasha Kamnet, and Sangse Tasha Kamnet, we need to create to travel from level 50 and to level 0. We need to create ourselves into bigger body, because we are not to support Chala Pucha Kamnet, Antasha Kamnet, Sangse Tasha Kamnet, you cannot stay at level 50. level 50 can sustain only Opapatika Kamnet. However, if you need those three types of Kamnet, you need to to create your body is bigger and more complex than at level 50. So we become ourselves at level 0, and then we can have Chalapusha Kamnet, Antasha Kamnet, and Sanseta Kamnet. That's one of our objectives, why we need to create our body from level 50 into level 0. Without supporting Chalapusha Kamnet, Antasha Kamnet, Sanseta Kamnet, we are not needed to create ourselves from level 50 into level 0. Is in case we need only Opapatika Kamnet, we can stay at level 50. And in that case, we can stay in Abhayapumi 3, Devapumi 6, Brahmapumi 16, and Brahmapumi 4. Okay. So that is one of the purpose why we become human, we become Manusa and Tirashana, because we need to support Shalapucha Kamnet, Antasha Kamnet, and Sanseta Kamnet. Otherwise, these three kinds of Kamnet cannot happen. Okay. Now, from this picture, I'll try to explain you something that for human and animal or Tirashana, actually, as I mentioned before, we are created by Akusala Chitta and Akusala Cetasika. If you look closely, our daily activities and our daily activities of animals, actually, we are no different. By performing Kama Sanya, Gochara Sanya, Marana Sanya, if you look carefully, without the complication of human society, but if you look into more details, the main objective of our daily activities are the same with the animals. We have Kama Sanya and Gochara Sanya, Marana Sanya, and animals also have the same activities, group of activities. They also have Kama Sanya, Gochara Sanya, Marana Sanya. In this case, it's quite obvious that if we cannot find a teaching of Anuttara Sammasambuddhi, we cannot perform Dhamma Sanya. In case we cannot perform Dhamma Sanya, we are no different from animal or Tirashana. And then that is some signs that in the future, your next life will end up in a Bhayapumi 4. And by end up in a Bhayapumi 4, we're not starting with Tirashana, Peta, Asuragaya, but we go directly to Niraya, and Niraya have 8 levels. We are not start with the level 1. We end up at level 8 or Aveji Mahanaraka. The reasons that we end up in Aveji Mahanaraka because of most of our life is the work. Most of our activities in daily activities, they caused by Tosa, and Tosa leads us to Abhayapumi, especially Aveji Mahanaraka. That's why we need Sikhaya, and when you find the teaching of Anuttara Sammasambuddhi, that's why I compare it like you can find a needle in the oceans, or you can find an oasis on a desert. So Sikhaya as much as you can in this life, because we don't know what lies ahead. Okay. In summary, in this class, we mentioned about the cyclical existence in 31 Bhumi and 4 types of birth. And also we mentioned about Chitta and also Vattu. Vattu, I mentioned so little about it. I will explain a bit for you. For your eyes, your ears, your nose, your tongue, your body, as I mentioned, that it ends up at Chakku Vinyana Chitta 2, Sota Vinyana Chitta 2, Kana Vinyana Chitta 2, Shiva Vinyana Chitta 2, and Kaya Vinyana Chitta 2. And those 3 Panchavinyana 10, they need place to stay. And for them, the place to stay for Chakku Vinyana Chitta 2, they stays with Chakku Vattu. And Sota Vinyana Chitta 2, they stay with Sota Vattu. Kana Vinyana Chitta 2, they stays with Kana Vattu. Shiva Vinyana Chitta 2, they stay with Shiva Vattu. And Kaya Vinyana Chitta 2, they stay with Kaya Vattu. And these 5 Vattu, stays with Pasatrupa 5 in Kamashupa 18. Pasatrupa 5, they are consisting of Jaku Pasatrupa, Sota Pasatrupa, Kana Pasatrupa, Shivaha Pasatrupa, and Kaya Pasatrupa. This Pasatrupa 5. And also the special one. The special one is Hataya Rupa 1 that contain Hataya Wattu. Hataya Wattu contains Chitta 37 Chitta that ordered to create Hataya Wattu. However, within Hataya Wattu, there are Chitta 107 stays together. But 37 out of 107 ordered to create Hataya Wattu. Therefore, in Hataya Wattu themselves, containing the order or containing the characteristics of Chitta 37 only instead of the whole characteristic of Chitta 107, because only 37 that order to create Hataya Wattu. And those 7 are consisting of Thosa Chitta 2, Sampatichana Chitta 2, Santirana Chitta 3, Panchathawara Chitta 1, Hasitupatha Chitta 1, Mahavipaka Chitta 8, Rupavajra Mahachitta 15, and so Sotapadimaka Chitta 5. And this one, as I mentioned, Thosa Chitta 2 is the most dangerous and most the first things that protect you, that keeps you out of Sotapadima to reach, keeps you out and keep you unable to reach Sotapadimaka Chitta 5. And with the interaction of those Chittas, mainly those Chitta 2, that's why they leads you to Abhaya Bhumi, especially Avechi Mahanaraka. This caused by Wattu. Okay. And so in summary, as I mentioned, in this class, we mentioned about cyclical existence in 31 Bhumi. We mentioned about 4 types of birth that for Upapadika Kamne, you need only from level 100 into level 50, then you can perform Upapadika Kamne. However, to support Shalakusha Kamne, Antasha Kamne, Sansetasha Kamne, you need to go from level 50 until level 0 to support Shlapusha Kamne, Antasha Kamne, and Sansetasha Kamne. And also, we also mentioned about Chitta and Wattu. Wattu is the place for Chitta to stay. And Chitta from the past stay with Wattu and interact together and create your next life, or leads you to attain Arya Pukala or attain Nirvana. Okay, that would be all for this class. I think you can have some picture of why we try to explain and try to perform our Buddha Jatuparisa responsibilities. We try to keep them, because this is the only way that we can Sikaya, and this is the only way that we can travel and we can have a chance to attain at least Sotapadimaka within this life, or as we set our goal as we sati Aryamaka, we sati Samanya Pla Ekani Pana Kipa Pinya Doje Plane Povatikani, and that is why we keep doing this. We keep Sikaya, we keep trying to understand the teaching of Anuttara Samma Sambuddhi and I also insist that by Sikaya we are not using our eyes, our ears, our nose, our tongue, and our body, because Sikaya starts at Vitaka Cetasika, and Vitaka Cetasika doesn't stay with your eyes, your ears, your nose, your tongue, your body. Keep Sikaya. Sadhu Khab, Sadhu, 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 Navuti Upaniti Panta, Anumut.
สาธุสาธุสาธุนาวุตินิธิพันธะโมตมิขอบคุณครับสาธุการโครงการ
สาธุนวัตกรรม
สาธุค่ะ